In the last 24 hours, the video that you're about to watch has been deleted off Logan Paul's YouTube channel, which is a pretty significant thing given the information that we're going to be responding to today, as making video responses to videos that have been removed off of YouTube by the person who uploaded it is always a cherry on top. You make a big response video, then you end up deleting it in less than 48 hours. The like and dislike ratio also kind of just spoke for itself on how angry everybody was. But should we really be surprised at this point? This is Logan Paul we're talking about. He doesn't exactly have the top tier reputation.
CoffeeZilla. I watched your 3-part series called Investigating Logan Paul's Biggest Scam, and like many on this platform, you have successfully used my name for views and money.
It always makes me chuckle when anyone ever makes the whole argument views and money, simply because the whole point of YouTube is for views. Every upload that we do is for the whole point to have somebody view it. And in regards to money, Logan, didn't you subscribe to his Patreon? You're a multimillionaire. Why would you then give him your money? You can't really complain about somebody making money, but then you're also giving them money, supporting them. Very strange.
While your work used to be impartial, your addiction to clicks has clouded your judgment and you've made very real errors with very real repercussions. Coffee, you took a shot at my reputation.
Yeah, that's not very hard to do, man. I mean, after all, we are talking about the guy who did the whole incident in Japan. No one on YouTube will ever forget such a thing. It was pretty much monumental and one of the largest probably YouTube controversies ever. And while you did do some redeeming qualities to try to make up for the fact of the matter is your thrust into crypto and NFTs has only raised an eyebrow from many.
So in this video today, I'm going to be defending myself with facts, something that you have gotten in the habit of twisting as you continue to morph from an investigator to a gossip channel.
What is a gossip channel? I often see this term thrown at people who, if somebody makes a video response to somebody criticizing somebody else, it automatically just gets put into this category of a gossip channel. You're gossiping. You see, typically gossip entails things that have no substance, no evidence. You don't like what somebody has to say about critiquing you, well then you're gossiping. This to me is just an out of touch of reality type-esque response. And while there are a lot of gossip channels on YouTube, CoffeeZilla definitely is not one of them.
So in this video today, I'm going to be defending myself with facts, something that you have gotten in the habit of twisting as you continue to morph from an investigator to a gossip channel.
Logan, your video response is approximately 7 minutes. Right here in this video segment would have been the perfect time to actually demonstrate and showcase maybe his past, because I'm not too familiar with CoffeeZilla's past with working with police or whatever thing that you're being vague about. I don't know. But right here, you say he's not, quote, anchored to truth. It's often speculative. In my personal opinion, since you're such a big creator and you could have really done a better job at responding to this, is you could have demonstrated examples of his past work. Instead, you're just being highly vague and nobody really knows what you're talking about outside of those two vague quotes. This could have been a got you. It could have been an actual point, an argument you could have made here. Being vague just for the sake of vague does nothing for anybody and leaves me just with my eyebrow raised saying, why didn't you do any further digging? Clarify, be specific, use examples, demonstrate what you're expressing. Did you do that? No.
But as opposed to just telling you, I'm going to show you some of the core discrepancies that I caught in CoffeeZilla's investigation. Coffee, you interviewed the developer who stole the game code, fled to Switzerland, and held it hostage for $1 million. Well, his name is Zach Kelling. Surely, as the internet detective that you proclaim to be, you would know that he spent time in prison for multiple felonies, one for aggravated robbery, armed robbery at a liquor store, and the other for, surprise, obstructing the legal process. I can see why you kept him anonymous.
Who we'll be calling Z here.
I guess among many things, it doesn't surprise me that he lied about having 30 engineers and a $50,000 a week burn rate.
On my end, I have 30 engineers. I'm burning $50,000 a week.
Which, side note, is how this delusionist landed on the $1 million code ransom, but it turns out he only had 3 engineers. Wouldn't someone with journalistic integrity know their credible source had not only an agenda, but a fondness for orange jumpsuits?
You know, that's an interesting point, Logan. Regardless of whether he has a past felony or not, it is your responsibility. It is your job as the overseer to make sure that the people that you are having hired for you, working under you, are not bad apples. But as you see later in a few minutes here, there's nothing but blame, and you left out the fact that he has a past felony. I'm not really sure what relevancy that would serve outside of maybe the person isn't exactly 100% trustworthy, but as CoffeeZilla it demonstrated, and as you even admitted, he did something, held a code ransom, because allegedly you didn't pay him. Now, whether or not that is true, I don't really know, but just because somebody has a criminal past doesn't mean that what they're saying now necessarily is invalidated or is not true.
Or did you just hear what you wanted to hear and moved on? Because even if you're lying to yourself, Steven, you still have to believe it. And I know what you're thinking. What type of idiot would work with an unsavory individual like Zach Kelling? I guess that's what I get for trusting the team that I relied on to vet and manage Eddie's hiring process, who has turned out to be a professional con man that I have since learned fooled billionaires, the Mormon Church, the owner of the New York Yankees, and now me.
So Logan, if I understand you properly, what you're describing here is that you hired somebody else to vet these people for you, and in turn, they were all scummy, not trustworthy. To me, that's a fascinating realization here. Because as somebody who was overseeing the project, I believe that you and your partner have a responsibility to look in. It doesn't matter if you hire somebody to vet other people, you have a job and responsibility to vet the person that you're hiring who's hiring these other people. And even if the people who you're having hire other people, you should have some sort of interaction, some sort of looking into, some sort of discussion or conversation with the people that are being hired, or you look into them personally yourself. Because right here at this moment in this video, this is the best thing you could have done, is simply say, hey, I should have been more responsible. I should have been involved in the vetting process and not hired somebody else who was scummy to vet other scummy people. At the end of the day, the internet can be a forgiving place if you actually take accountability for certain things that you do. Hell, over a year ago, one personal life experience that we can go into is a past ex-nanny that we hired, in which I and my partner did not vet this person before hiring them. This individual ended up stealing from us and children. And after we fired this person, we then discovered through background checks and looking into them that they had a massive criminal history, including no contact orders that have been passed, and anti-harassment orders and animal brutality. This was a lack of judgment on our part because we genuinely believed this person, we trusted this person, and they were not the person that we thought that they were. We did not do our due diligence in that situation to do a background check, to look into them before hiring. That was our responsibility. In the same way, Logan right here, that's all you would have to say, and the internet would be a far more forgiving place. Instead, you do none of that. Instead, you focus on CoffeeZilla, not going in depth of the people that you hired who were criminals.
And surely you knew Emilio, the gentleman who supposedly let his child invest in a cryptocurrency, was allegedly responsible for 2 rug pulls before you interviewed him. So either you missed that or you knew it and failed to let the public know. Why? Because it was a clear sign that he was also untrustworthy. You seemed pretty excited when the guy told you that he couldn't hatch the eggs.
Wait, you can't even hatch?
No, I'm telling you, it's just a picture.
You're kidding! You can't hatch?
You're kidding. You can't hatch?
You can't hatch?
Yeah, 1 second of research would prove that to be false, as you can definitely hatch eggs and even breed your animals.
Click on that. Oh, we got a duck.
And as you pointed out in your fine print, cross-hatching was available on ETH at one point, but you perpetuated the opposite as truth with your chest out.
Basically, nothing worked.
This is really your argument, man, that in fine print text in this clip where he's talking about crypto eggs not being able to be hatched, he clarifies that when the game first launched, they could hatch slightly, but then it was simply removed and didn't work anymore and was super buggy. If you have a primary feature of a game, and that's the main feature of the game, and it works, let's say, the first month of launch, and then it no longer works, it would be accurate to say months after the fact of it not working that it doesn't work anymore. Just because something works at the start and breaks down or has a bug or doesn't work anymore for months and months and months upon end doesn't make it an inaccurate statement to say that an egg, a virtual egg, doesn't hatch, which gives you some sort of wacko cryptocurrency through a blockchain. It's... oh, man. Would you have preferred CoffeeZilla to not even put fine print and clarify what he meant by this?
And by the way, Guy, almost all NFTs are just pictures.
I'm telling you, it's just a picture.
And surely a real internet detective would not break criminal and civil laws in trying to get information, right? So why have you allowed the illegal recording of Jeff's phone call without his permission? And then, more like an internet criminal, post it online.
And it was interesting. It was like, this is wild.
But Logan, you just posted it yourself on the internet. Did you get his prior consent before that? And you know what? Let's talk about this. I see this brought up all the time. Every state in America has different single party consent laws, double party consent laws on whether or not you can record audio and things like that. At the end of the day, I've actually never seen anyone prosecuted, like a YouTuber or, you know, like a celebrity or whatever. I've never seen somebody prosecuted for recording somebody, whether it's illegal or not. Yeah, somebody's going to go get a felony for recording a phone call illegally because of the state has a 2-party consent law. That's ridiculous. Nothing's ever going to come of that. It just doesn't happen. I've never seen it. People on the internet are really, really dumb. Even in my own personal experience, I recorded somebody with their consensual permission. But even then, depending on what state you're in, if somebody is making threats towards you, if somebody is threatened to harm themselves, two-party consent automatically gets invalidated when they're actually threatening to like physically harm you and stuff like that. So it's a case-by-case basis, and every state is different with their laws. And most jurisdictions and most counties and states are not going to pursue a felony charge on somebody over a phone call recording. It's just not a common thing. And as I said just earlier, you're also posting the same conversation that he did, so technically you're committing an illegal recording too because he didn't have consent.
Now, although you didn't verify any backgrounds, substantiate any evidence, took multiple criminals' words as truth, and broke laws, you still published the defamation. However, unlike you, the blockchain doesn't lie. So let's highlight some things that you did point out. Crypto King Jake stole $6 million. True or not, we had already removed him from the team when we realized he was a bad actor and his motives were purely financial. Conman Eddie, lead developer, stole $1.7 million. True or not, when we learned he was a bad actor as well, he was immediately removed from the team. While myself and Jeff sold nothing and made nothing as verified through investigation and the blockchain.
Jeff, Logan's manager, to my knowledge, never sold. Neither did Logan Paul.
I repeat, Jeff and I made no money and will never make any money on Crypto Zoo. In fact, we only lost money trying to pick up the pieces. As has been the case with dozens of crypto and NFT projects, the space is unfortunately ripe for bad actors to infiltrate projects that start with even the best intentions.
Now, surprisingly enough, I actually agree with Logan here. The space in the whole crypto and NFT realm is a very scary, fishy place. A lot of sussy people. Ice Poseidon being a fantastic example of someone who created a crypto and stole over like $1 million from fans and viewers and investors, and then flew out. Now he lives in Japan doing plenty of pump and dumps, all the while making a live stream admitting and claiming that, yeah, he stole money from his viewers and investors and he doesn't really care. But here's the thing, Logan. You had investors into this whole crypto zoo and all of these coins and NFTs. You have investors, people who invest money. You may not be investing your own personal money or selling out or whatever, but you have other people investing their money, whether that be viewers or fans, and you owe it to them, especially if they're investing their money into something that you're promising or promoting and it doesn't work properly, or the money gets taken away or stolen or whatever, and they lose millions and millions of dollars, thousands of dollars. Keeping investors in the dark and losing money, that's a serious thing. That's bad for your reputation. It's bad for your fans and viewers to invest into something that you create, and they waste their own personal income.
Jake the Snake is no longer affiliated with Crypto Zoo, and we hope the money he reappropriated was worth ruining his reputation. Conman Eddie is being investigated by a higher authority that I cannot speak on. As you can imagine, I was not cleared from legal to discuss much of this, including the legal process being undertaken and the criminal investigations going on during the fallout, but I do appreciate you calling out that rats under my nose stole the game code, millions of dollars, and left Jeff and I abandoned with no team and knives in our back.
And I know that this may be a hard point to swallow, Logan, but while you have a knife in the back of you, you also have to be semi-responsible for sharpening that knife to begin with. Sure, you didn't stab the knife, but you sharpened it enough so it could go in. Does that make sense, guys? I think it does. As I mentioned at the start, responsibility, taking accountability for things where you could have done better isn't a bad thing, and the internet would have responded differently to this video had you said, hey, it's my bad, I didn't do what I should have done, and people lost out on money. Everyone's human, even you, Logan. Humans make mistakes, we don't always have the best decisions, and sometimes we make choices that negatively affect other people. And when we do things like that, all we can really do is say, hey, I was wrong, I'm gonna learn from this experience, this is where I can be better in the future, and that's what I'm gonna try to do. If you can't admit that, if you can't be upfront about that, the internet's really not going to care what you have to say.
But even after 12 months of work, you've still managed to overlook one crucial piece of information. See, even though I've said it's coming so many times, you've assumed that Crypto Zoo isn't being made. Who are you to decide when the development timeline ends?
Oh, I believe it's being made now after his 3-part series because it had been neglected for how long? With no updates, no communication, no transparency, no nothing. But after his viral 3-part series, now you kind of have to take it seriously and you have to kind of revive it and work on it and get it up and running again. So is Crypto Zoo coming? Probably.
I got everything stolen from me in our community, stopped promoting publicly as soon as I knew the extent of the internal issues, took all of the heat on social, and you still published a defamatory hit piece fully knowing I was innocent just so you could enrich yourself in your $10 million studio.
Who the hell cares if somebody has a $10 million studio? You have how many cars, Logan? Like, what point does that make?
Sharp, but deeply unethical, dangerously misleading, and illegal. I suggest you use the money you got from pumping your Patreon to hire a good lawyer. You're gonna need it. And maybe we could have talked about this if you had reached out to me, personally. Not my manager, Jeff, who is not me, Steven, but the first time you did was on Christmas Eve after you released your series so you could rely on false statements and unreliable people used recklessly.
Oh, okay. Well, you know, you contributed to his Patreon, so technically you helped him hire his lawyer, right?
The subject line was third request for comment. Yeah, not quite. This will be my third time reaching out to you and your team. The first 2 times were through your manager, Jeff. The first 2 times were through your manager, Jeff. Okay, so the last time on Christmas Eve, after the fact, was to me. You have a funny way of twisting things.
Logan, what is the point of having a manager if the manager isn't going to contact you about something that somebody wants a statement on? The whole point of having a manager is that when you contact that manager then comes to you. And you're like upset at the fact that he contacted your manager twice and then he reached out to you personally. Why the hell do you even have a manager if this is the argument that you're going to make? That's what they're designed for.
And I also noticed you left out that part on Twitter. Why hide that? Trust me, CryptoZoo is coming. I will make damn sure of it. And honestly, it sucks that after years of personal reform, going through trials and tribulations and busting my ass to evolve into a person that I can say I'm actually proud of, you led the charge to drive and monetize a narrative telling millions of people that I'm a fraud or I tried to scam my audience.
Then do a better job at refuting the points or taking accountability and responsibility.
That is patently false. This video is mainly for my fans and anyone who's on the fence that I hope I can help understand a situation that is tremendously complex but has been oversimplified for both views and clicks. And lastly, CoffeeZilla. I now know your motives with this. Clout and money, good for you, but also you're slimy as f. So I'm not gonna come on any of your podcasts. If you wanna come on Impulsive and talk about this, that's fine. You've denied my invitation multiple times. You're still invited. It can be a one-on-one. If not, we're gonna handle this ourselves while we continue to build CryptoZoo, and I'll see you in court.
Coming in 2023 and 2024, guys, please don't invest into this. I can't stress you. I don't care if you're a fan of Logan or not. Please do not invest in these types of NFT crypto combo things. I'm telling you from personal experience, from seeing people taken advantage of, it is not worth it. Now, crypto coins in of itself, if it's an established coin, I don't know, like Ethereum or something. I personally use Coinbase for the majority of any sort of crypto investing type of stuff. I'm not saying that you can't gain money, you can't earn money, because it is legitimate having cryptos. But like when you have a content creator creating, what did Logan create? That a dink oink dink or dink oink or some stupid coin to like make fun of like Dogecoin or whatever, and it lost its value so exponentially fast when it came out. Just stop. You're literally giving these multimillionaires more money and just investing into something that probably most likely is not going to have any monetary value, and it's just you being taken advantage of. And I don't want anybody being taken advantage of anyone else financially, and you losing income, especially in this day and age in America right now. Everything's inflated. It's already hard enough to be employed and make a good wage. Investing in stuff like this just to have it stolen from you, it's not worth it. So if you invest in anything, make sure you know it's real. Make sure it's reputable. That's all I have to say for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Hit the bell on this video so to make sure that you get every single video in your sub box, and please subscribe to my gaming channel. It's absolutely free. It's Repzion Games, and I'll catch you guys next week for another video.